Greetings, fellow members of the Esoteric Order of Gamers. I do enjoy a good naval war game. It all started with this one over here. Man of War, an absolute classic and a fantastic game. Very sadly long out of print. I even enjoyed Dreadfleet, a very random long game, but still some beautiful miniatures and just amazing production. And lately I've been getting into dystopian wars. It's steampunk Victoriana, and there are some beautiful ships. So it's no surprise I was interested in Armada by Mantic Games. Yes, it's their answer to Man of War. I asked them if they'd send me the 2-player starter set, and they very kindly obliged. Here it is. I'm about to check it out and unbox it with you. Now let's look inside the box. Now this game is set in Mantic's world of Panathor, which their Kings of War tabletop game is set in. And it has all the classic, of course, humans and orcs. And I've had a look on their website, and there are some really nice ships coming out for this game. Some lovely big ships, and also little collections of small ships on one stand. So let's see what we've got inside here. Open it up. How does this open? I can't actually tell. It seems to be a side opening thing. Okay, there we go. Slide that out. Now, unfortunately, this is quite flimsy. Of course, when you get starter sets, they often save a bit of money because they're packing a lot into a starter set, but I do prefer a normal box. It's much easier to lift the lid off a box than have to sort of slide it out of a cover. But anyway, that's a small consideration. And as you can see, Mantic haven't gone over the top with packaging here. It's just sort of all thrown into a box. So, lots of miniatures there, I can see. There are some cards, some dice, and what seems to be a playmat as well. Here's our rulebook. It's a perfect bound book. Some nice miniature photography. I've had a look at the PDF version of this, and it looks great. Look at this shot. Absolutely spectacular aerial shot of a naval battle there. Here are our rules. I don't know anything about the rules yet, but of course in future coverage I'll be telling you about it and how it plays. And of course I'll find time to do a battle report as well once I've painted these ships up. There are the rules. There are scenarios. Great artwork, background material, everything you'd expect. Look at that. Great art. Oh, and here are some of the fleets. So I've got the Basilian fleets, which are the humans. They look very nice. Orc fleets, of course. More orc fleets. Don't they look spectacular? Empire of Dust. These are sort of your mummy, Tomb King type faction. Dwarves. They've got a bit of a steampunk feel, as dwarves often do. And that's what they've done so far, so a few factions to choose from. Now these large cards appear to be fleet upgrades, and you've got a small Basilian fleet and a small Orc fleet in here. Oh, and we've got the reference cards as well. So these are the different types of ships. Gun Brig, Panther, Hammerfist. This is the Orc ship. It's got this huge hammering, ramming thing on the front. Classic. Blood Runner. Or Bomb Boat. Orc fleet rules. This appears to be a little reference sheet. More Orc fleet rules. Upgrades. And then the same for the Basilian fleet. Whole pack of 10-sided dice there, and a couple of 6-sided with a symbol on the 6 face. Some strange MDF pieces here. Not sure what these are. Perhaps they're bases? I don't know. These mysterious etched pieces. Oh, a whole lot of stuff in here. Looks like some nice thick counters. These are very nice looking indeed. This looks like some kind of turn template. Some counters, a range ruler, very thick card, a nice island template there. Some more islands. Lots of counters. These are probably damage counters. And these appear to be extra things, boarding nets, grappling hooks, etc. So these must be extra stuff that your ships can have. Now, what appears to be a playmat. This is nice, thick paper. Let's lay this out and see what it looks like. There's the mat. It's nice and big. It's about 33 by 46 inches in size. And of course, you have to do a bit of back folding because it is just paper. It's normal thickness paper, really. But a good alternative for your initial battles. Of course, you want something a bit custom made as you get more into the game. Of course, I've got my big Dreadfleet sheet, which came with the game Dreadfleet, and I use for all my naval battles. And it's worth getting if you can find a copy anywhere, just for this sheet alone. Of course, we're mainly here for the miniatures, so let's open these up and see what they look like. Ooh, they're all resin. Oh, wow. Oh, wow, these are lovely. Look at the size of them. They're much bigger than I expected. That is very impressive. Nice detailed resin there. Look at that. This would be an orc ship, as you can see by the chaotic construction. That's pretty impressive stuff. Nice big chunky size. There we go. Loving this detail. This is this big hammering fist thing that goes on the front of the orc ship. Oh, these are gorgeous. Wow, a huge bag of sails. And of course, if you remember the old Man of War set, they had paper sails, which is always one of the problems the game had. Look at these beautiful thin resin sails and masts attached. Well, they were all the orc sails, and these are the Basilian sails. And also it's great to see these symbols carved into the sail as well, because that makes painting a lot easier. Look at that. Wow. Well, I'm very impressed. These are quite lovely. Little cannon there. Alright, I've got heaps of resin bits here. Well, there are 4 Basilian ships and bases and 4 Orc ships and bases. So 8 ships altogether. That'll get you started for a little skirmish, but I'm sure once you start building these, look at that. I mean, there's kind of 3 sail arrangements on this one. So they've really brought the emphasis back to the sails. Quite lovely models. So I think I will make them up and show you what they look like, because, you know, at the moment it's just a pile of resin and that doesn't give you a very good idea of what you get. Well, here are the ships, and I have to say I am really impressed. These are quite gorgeous. I wasn't expecting them to be so large. You can see they're really nicely sized. There's a lot of detail in the resin, and they're just gorgeous. I mean, these nice resin sails are just lovely too. Now what I've done here is I haven't actually attached the sails yet. I've just stuck them in with a bit of blue tack. That's because I'll be painting them separately, so I don't want to super glue them in yet. So you get 2 of these Basilian Elohi. These ships are called Elohi. There's one gun brig, see, with a cannon in the front there. And this one is called a Gur Panther. For the orcs, you get 2 of these hammer fists. I won't explain why they're called hammer fists, but the detail is just stunning. This one's called a bomb boat. And this one is a blood runner with a fantastic little screw ram thing up the front. And just look at the detail in there. These are lovely resin models. For these orc sails, they attach together on the mast. This one's a different colour for some reason, or this is different material, I'm not sure why. They attach on the mast, but they also attach on a point on the sail as well. So they're quite solid, as you can see. A couple of dabs of super glue, and they're quite solid. For the human ships, these extra sails attach to the mast itself. It's funny, us older gamers have a lot of good memories of Man of War, but The old ships are starting to show their age now. They're quite small, and again, paper sails, which is just unheard of these days. It still looks quite nice, but it certainly doesn't stand up to these beautiful resin ships. I'm really impressed, and I'm actually quite keen to get more of these. This has just whetted my appetite. I'm going to try out the game system and see what it's like. I will let you know. And of course, I'll be doing a rules summary and reference as well to make your games of Armada even easier to play. As I mentioned before, Mantic have 4 fleets available. The Basilian fleet, which are the humans, the Orcs, the Empire of Dust, and of course the Dwarves. So, yep, I think I'm hooked already. These ships are just gorgeous. And a whole pack of these going into battle on the tabletop would really be an impressive sight. So I'll get these painted and let you know what they look like, and look forward to more about Mantic's Armada coming from the Esoteric Order of Gamers. Bye for now.